What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the Lemonhead is on his media tour. He is out there totally not panicking, totally not coping. And where would you think the first place this loser would run? Well, of course, to the 12 viewers that Jimmy Kimmel has to try and muster up some sympathy. The thing is, Don Lemon forgets, and even though Jimmy Kimmel is a fake Christian who pretends that he's Christian but doesn't act like it at all, he went on last night looking for a sympathetic ear, and he's been getting absolutely dragged all over the internet because, again, if it's not for the consequences of your own actions, Don Lemon, none of this happens. The left is allergic to personal responsibility, and it is so ridiculous. It gets so tiring that these people keep punching beehives and they're like, where all these bees come from?
Bees! Bees in the car! Bees everywhere! They're ripping my flesh off!
Oh, and they're racist and they're phobic.
That's racist?
Just stop punching beehives and you'll stop getting stung. But again, these people have either grown up their entire life or in the recent history been told that they bear no personal responsibility for their actions. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Rumble Wallet. They can freeze your accounts, shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. Banks don't protect you, they control you. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a non-custodial wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether, you own Tether Gold, real gold on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't an IOU. It's a real gold. It's real gold without bank vault storage fees or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. And if you want, Tether Gold can be redeemed for actual physical gold. That's power. And when you support creators with Rumble Wallet, you can tip them directly using the wallet, peer-to-peer and outside the banking system. No permission, no middleman, no cancel button. The wallet is yours forever. Wallet.rumble.com to get yours also on the Play stores and the iTunes places and things like that. Don Lemon says that agents sent to arrest him despite his offer to turn himself in. Well, he was desperate, pleading to not get perp walked. That's what all of this is about. He was panicking that people would see him in handcuffs. Former CNN anchor whines and complains as he faces charges for his coverage of an anti-ICE protest that disrupted a Minnesota church service. No. We already talked about this yesterday. Don Lemon actively participated in infringing on other Americans' constitutionally protected rights to gather and be religious. He was in violation of the FACE Act, faces 10 years in prison. Don Lemon says a dozen federal agents came to his LA hotel to arrest him overnight on January 30th, even though the former CNN anchor's attorney had told authorities he would turn himself in to face federal civil rights charges over his coverage of an anti-immigration enforcement protest that stormed a Minnesota church service. Now, again, like I said, these people, they don't hold any responsibility. They don't pretend to. They always play stupid, like, what? That's the FACE Act. I'd never heard of that. Even though, of course, these very same people were clamoring for people who went on a guided tour of the Capitol to spend life in prison. You know, people took their own lives instead of facing those charges. Journalists like Owen Schroyer spent time in federal prison and solitary confinement in Florida for this. So why would Don Lemon think that he's any different? Why would Don Lemon think he's above the law in any way, shape, or form here? I was walking up to the room and I pressed the elevator button, and then all of a sudden I felt myself being jostled and people trying to grab me and put me in handcuffs. The independent journalist cried on Monday on the Jimmy Kimmel live show. He asked the agents who they were and said they identified themselves. Lemon asked to see a warrant, told them they didn't have it. The agents then summoned an FBI agent to come in from outside to show Don Lemon the warrant on a cell phone. So they did have a warrant. The Justice Department and FBI did not immediately respond to the messages. Kimmel introduced Lemon, his first guest on the show, by saying he was arrested for committing journalism. Again, remember, Don Lemon was not practicing journalism. Was Owen Schroyer practicing journalism? Then why was he put in prison? This is exactly why the Trump administration cannot fumble this. They cannot let this loser get off without doing at least some time. Okay. I don't expect him to get a 10 years prison sentence for his first offense on something like this. It's not like anybody got hurt. It's not like anybody, was attacked. There was some scary stuff that went on. And so I think 6 months to a year in prison would be very reasonable. Don Lemon is furious that he got arrested for committing a crime, saying all the federal agents scared him and it was just too much. Listen to this loser.
Walking up to the room.
By the way, they want to strike fear into you. They want to intimidate you. Also, Don Lemon, protesting is about making people uncomfortable and traumatized. Uh-oh. Let me just reintroduce people to who Don Lemon really is here with this clip.
Take you outside of the church and just show you a little bit, but yeah, that was interesting to watch. This guy here. Look.
You mean participate in?
Hugging his kid.
Hugging his kid because you terrified a toddler? Because you terrified a toddler, Don Lemon.
And, I imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
Oh, okay. Well, protesting is about making people feel uncomfortable and traumatized. Now let's see him on the Jimmy Kimmel live show pretend that he is the victim in all this. Again, he had every opportunity to not participate in this violation of these people's First Amendment rights, and he chose to break the law.
When I press the elevator button, and all of a sudden I feel myself being jostled, and people tried to grab me and put me in handcuffs, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "We came to arrest you." And I said, well, "Who are you?" And then finally they identified themselves, and I said,
Girl, you knew who they were. You knew who they were. Everybody knew who they were. You knew you were getting arrested. And by the way, you were let go with zero bail. Thanks a lot, Pam Bondi. I mean, I guess, again, people are upset about that. Look, Don Lemon is not a flight risk. You could have a ceremonial amount of bail that might inconvenience him temporarily. I don't care about the fact that he was let go without any bail. I want him on trial. I don't want this pled out. And I want him to do at least some time. I think that's very reasonable. Leave a like on the video if you agree with that.
If you are who you are, then where's the warrant? And
he's pretending like he's all tough now.
Didn't have a warrant, so they had to wait for someone from outside, an FBI guy, to come in to show me.
You hear the crowd? Oh, they didn't have a warrant. Yes, they did. International newsreader Don Lemon. They did, in fact, have a warrant.
Warrant on a cell phone, and by that time, I was like trying to,
in tears,
figure out what was going on to get my bearings, and they dropped all my stuff. My glasses had fallen on the floor.
Oh, not your glasses! God, oh my God! Did you hear his glasses fell on the floor? Did you? I mean, this is the most pathetic display. I mean, this is, again, Don Lemon, international newsreader, acting like he's some hero, which is ridiculous. I mean, Don Lemon, what a hero. He fought the power. He's a real journalist.
So they had to pick my glasses up, and I read it, and still, what does that mean? So
Don Lemon thinks that fake police showed up and arrested him. That's what he's implying. What does that even mean? A warrant? You asked for a warrant. They gave you a warrant. There was obviously at no point did Don Lemon think that these were like fake police officers fake arresting him.
And then there was a bunch of guys, and they took me outside. FBI guys were out there.
Good.
I mean, it had to be maybe a dozen people.
Thousands. I heard it was thousands of officers arrested him. Perhaps an entire military.
Which is a waste, Jimmy, of resources.
Oh, now he's worried about money. Now he's worried about it's a waste of money. Oh, okay.
I told them weeks before, and maybe once or twice, that we would, I think my attorney tried to contact them once, maybe twice, that I could just go in and it would have to be the folks who were just working there that day, and they wouldn't have to have all these people.
Don Lemon is acting like he didn't cream his jeans when they brought in, all these Republicans for mugshots. This is part of the dog and pony show. Is it a waste of money? Sure. Okay. Am I going to pretend for even 1 second that Don Lemon gives two ripping issues about how our government spends their money? If they had sent 1,000 federal officers, look at all the people they raided Mar-a-Lago with. Was he concerned about the money? Was he worried about the money? No. He's on this like trying to live. I want to see if I wonder what the YouTube comments are, because I know they curate theirs. Don Lemon, Kimmel. I bet you it's overwhelmingly positive. Here we go. 1.2 million views. Good job, Jimmy Kimmel. 71,000 likes. Okay. What's funny is people are like, why are you interviewing Don Lemon and then not the nobodies that don't have millions of dollars to fight these charges? Thank you, Streisand Effect. Georgia Forte is another journalist I'd love to see an interview. No phone call. They really went rogue. These people, DOJ is full of clowns. Committing journalism is crazy. I just don't think there's any saving these delusional lunatics. They are just far beyond any realm of reality. And it's honestly sad to watch. But at least we can take some joy in the fact that there's less and less of them every year, and more people are tuning out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. We'll talk to you again real soon.